Hey YouTube, welcome back. You know, yesterday it was summer. Today it's fall. I gotta wear a sweatshirt. It's cold. It was raining all day yesterday. And now it's fall. Trees are turning. But you know what that means? That means it's time to go inside to the shop. Let's go in the shop. So I thought today, I've been working on the Fender on the 87 and I got some filler on there and just letting it set up, and then I got to sand it and get it ready for Sally's truck. So
finally.
But I wanted to take a break. So I decided today we're going to do just a quick shop tour. I'm going to show you what's going on in my shop, where everything's at. Maybe take a peek in the toolboxes and just have some fun today. So I guess we'll start over here. This is my staging rack. This is where I put everything to do with the projects that I have at the time. I got project transformation sheet metal here, suspension components, brake components. I got stuff for the 87 here, tail lights, wiring, wood blocks for the bed, fenders for project 53. Ready to go. And so that's my staging rack. And then over here on this side, this is my bead blasting cabinet. Super handy. I love this thing. Works great. What can I say? It's just a bead blasting cabinet, but it's pretty cool. It works great.
Gotta have one.
Yeah. Over here in the corner is a vacuum cleaner for the bead blast cabinet. So when you're blowing off the rust and stuff off of parts, that grabs the dust in the air and gets rid of it. So that's pretty handy. I've got my sandblasting, portable sandblaster. Use that when it's too big to get in the cabinet. I've got an engine stand. I actually got two engine stands. This one's got a crank on it, which I really like because I can roll the motor back and forth. Got a cherry picker here that folds up. And when you got a tight shop like I've got, you got to have stuff that folds up and stuff that's on wheels. So that's what I got going on there. Let's see, I got the hood up above. And
yeah, for the 53.
Yeah, you're probably noticing this looks a lot like Home Depot, and you would be right. I got these salvage racks from Home Depot, and I put all the stickers on the inside, and these work really cool. Gives me a place to store all the stuff.
Well, they hold a ton of weight, which is really nice.
They hold a ton. I just put a sheet of plywood on there. This is just a giant conglomeration of stuff, I guess.
But it's organized.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not OCD organized, but I can find what I need to find.
Oh, look, a mop. That's handy.
Yeah, it comes in handy. I got funnels for doing oil changes. And by the way, this funnel, dude, this is the bomb. For putting transmission fluid in and whatnot. It's super cool.
What is this that you're holding on to?
Oh, this is, I got this at Harbor Freight. It's pretty cool. It's a... it goes to the same level as my pickup truck. So if I got something heavy and I'm unloading it, I can raise it up to the height of the tailgate, slide it on and bring it in, lower it down to the ground, and I don't have to muscle it around so much. So this is a pretty cool little deal.
It's pretty much a back saver.
Yeah, it's a back saver. It's totally a back saver. These are my, all my fasteners, automotive fasteners, grade 5. It takes a long time to get into town, so it makes more sense to have the fasteners I need on hand instead of having to, oh gee, I wish I had that bolt, that 2-inch bolt. So machine screws in this one, and all my extra medicine containers work great for holding all the little stuff. These guys here I get at the not North 40, but Black Sheep. It's kind of an outdoors outfit. These are fishing boxes, and I just label them. I put like 3/8 fine thread, weld nuts, metric, 7/16 fine thread.
Well, they're all divided too, which makes it
Yeah,
nice.
they're all divided, and you can find everything you want. So yeah, this is kind of my, I guess just all my fasteners and stuff like that.
It's your store.
Yeah, yeah. And over here is just where I park my cart, and under this cart are all of my grinders that I use for fabrication. And I think I'm going to build a wall rack for it. I'll probably shoot a video of that.
Well, you built this
Yeah,
cart
I
too,
built
didn't
the
you?
cart, yeah.
Okay.
And it's a little overkill, but you know, this guy here, I was sitting in the doctor's office, you know, and usually what you do in a doctor's office is you wait, even though you're on time, you still
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
And they had one of these, only it was stainless steel and chrome, and I looked at it and I thought, this would make a really sweet deal for working on cars. Because I could just like roll it over the top of the fender, throw all my wrenches and junk on there, and don't have to worry about dropping them down, you know, on the motor. So
So you made that one too?
yeah, I made this. You could totally make this, guys. This is like just scrap metal, no big deal. I got my drill press here, and I had to customize this drill press because it didn't go slow enough, so I added another shiv in the middle so that I could gear it down, get it at about 180 RPM. And you can see normally it would just go to 470, which is a little fast for some of the big hole saws. So anyway, sometimes you have to just adapt your equipment to your needs. This is where I keep all my drilling stuff. Just an old Craftsman box. It works great. I got my cutting fluids here. I got my drill decimal equivalent chart and tap sizes with nice big print so I can read it. This drawer's got my 29-piece American-made drill bits. Yes, there is a difference between American-made and Chinese-made. These last longer.
Yeah.
This drawer has got some long bits, miscellaneous drill bits. These are self-centering jigs for round and flat stuff. It's got all of your, let me flip it around so you can see it. It's got all of your hole sizes. And then down below is the center line of the hole so that you can line it up. And it's hardened steel, so you can run your drill through it, and it won't damage this, but it'll center the drill and where you're marking it. So this is pretty handy. And then there's obviously a bigger size, goes up all the way to 1/2 inch, so real nice. This drawer's got woodworking drill bits, spade bits, Forstner bits. Just keep them here. This is standard tap and die set, and then these are cleaning thread dies, and then this one underneath here is metric tap and die set.
Nice to have them all separate.
Yeah, this is just a little thing I made with some angle iron. It's for the drill press, and I clamp it down. I can put round stock on this and then center it and drill. It makes it really good for holding things that are odd shapes, mostly round shapes.
Oh, look, our old Harley days.
Yeah, back in the old days.
Nice to have remembrance of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hole saws in this drawer. And this drawer has some corded 1/2 inch and 3/8 drills. This one has an angle 3/8 drill and then a sheetrock drill. And this one has an old Craftsman 1/2 inch drill, which still works good.
It weighs like 100 pounds.
Yeah, it weighs like, yeah, gajillion pounds.
Yeah.
So this is my tool cabinet. It's a Harbor Freight. And you know what? This is a good box. I've had other boxes, and for the money. This thing rocks. It really does. Top drawer, I keep all of my sockets, metric on this side, standard on this side. Gosh, what else I got? I got just some oddball stuff here. Torx, tamper resistant Torx, Allen standard and Allen metric. Assorted spark plug sockets and adapters. This is for changing out oxygen sensors. And then this is a thread tap for cleaning the threads on oxygen sensors so that the new oxygen sensor goes in real nice. These are, you know, some of the stuff Snap-on makes is really cool. And this is one of them. This is a spark plug socket that has the ball end permanently on it. And I got a 5/8 and a 13/16, and they're very handy for changing out spark plugs. I got a couple of speed wrenches here, some uber long extensions that won't fit in my drawer. These are the outside star bit sockets, 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch. I got just an assortment of wobblies, the most common ones. There's no point in having you just don't use them enough, and mostly I'm using them for like 12 millimeter, 13, half, 9/16, 3/8. You know, just a really common stuff, nothing, you know, very rarely am I going to need a 3/4 inch wobbly. But at least that's been my experience, so that works pretty good. And these are really a combination of, gosh, everything. I've got Craftsman sockets, Snap-on sockets, Husky sockets, Tecton sockets. You know, they all work. They're all good. I don't have any problems with them. These sockets here I got from my grandfather, and they are 3/4 inch drive, and
They're huge.
they're ginormous. And so they come in handy for big stuff. And then onto the right here are my ratchets. They just put all the ratchets together. And this is the ratchet, my grandfather's ratchet. I'm thinking this is probably 70 years old. And gosh, this thing still works. Look at that. Now, this is kind of cool. They had the KISS principle back in those days. So if you wanted to change directions, you pop this out and you flip it around, and now you're loosening. Pretty cool.
They don't make that anymore though, do they?
No. So that's my 3/4 inch drive ratchet. Works pretty good. Let's see. This drawer are my standard wrenches. SKs, Snap-on. Not sure what this one is, but
Sounds cool.
it's made in the USA, so it must be good. And this is a starter wrench for grabbing those pesky GM starter bolts that are up on the top. This is, well, here's a distributor wrench, and then there's another distributor wrench back here. And this is my early homemade distributor wrench. And, you know, it's pretty much the same thing.
It is.
And so that works pretty cool. And it's kind of nice to keep those old handmade tools around.
Boys will probably fight over that one.
Next drawer down, metric. SK, Snap-on, some wrenches for bicycles, back when I could bicycle. And then what I did was I got standard in this drawer, and then just to the right, ratchet wrenches, standard, flare nut wrenches, and crow's feet. And then this guy here is a pretty old set. And these are, back when you had tappets on cars, these are very thin tappet wrenches so that you can put two of them together. They're very thin. And, you know, there's not too many. Everything's hydraulic now. But back in the day, they were pretty useful. And then the same tools next to the metric drawer with the metric version of everything. And this drawer down here is my screwdrivers. Gosh, all kinds of them. Ratchet and screwdrivers, Phillips. This guy here is really handy. I think it's a Husky. Yeah. Really handy though. You can get in tight places, and then there's some bits for it here. And then another driver that I customized for getting into tight spots.
It's one of my favorite drawers.
Yeah, I know. That's why I have to mark everything because they disappear.
I know, I forget to put them back. Sorry, honey.
And then this is standard impact sockets. And then these are the 3/4 inch drive extensions that I got from my grandfather. And let's see, who makes these? Plum. Plum makes those. Who makes this guy? This is no name, but and then this is the breaker bar, how they used to do it. And this is who makes this? This is made by Wright. So this has a little center thing, so you can,
That's
I
handy.
guess, do that or swing it down to the end, and then it has a little like thing on the end, a little ball detent, one on each end.
Oh, it locks it.
So yeah, it doesn't slip on you while you're torquing on it. It's pretty cool. Simple design. And this drawer here is metric sockets. So, and again, it's a Craftsman, Mac Tools, Tecton, Harbor Freight. You know what? They all work. They're good. You know, I'm not going to be a tool snob, and I don't always. You don't have to buy all that really expensive stuff. Front wheel. Here's a. This is pretty handy. I had to do the front struts on my truck, and here's the 35 millimeter that I had to have to do that. This is Harbor Freight, really handy. It's got some big sizes on there if you're wrenching on that stuff. Snap-on torque wrenches, because I just want a really accurate torque setting when I'm doing things, and so to me it was worth the investment. This is seal driver set, and I think this is Harbor Freight too. Yeah, and it works great. It's a good set for, you know, driving the seals when you don't want to use a socket. You want to use the right part for the job. So now let's see, we go down these drawers here. My micro torch, little tiny screwdrivers. I think this is my, oh yeah, this is my obviously my Allen wrench set, and my T25, the torque stuff in the driver bits. Oops, and we go down to this one. These are my punches. This is a punch my son made for me, and I've actually used it quite a bit. And then in here, here's a roll that Sally made for me, because
Look at that fancy case.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And so I got pin punches, center punches, cold chisels, and a nice little wrap. And
You're welcome, honey.
yeah, thanks for making that for me. That was really cool. And then let's see what's on this drawer here. This drawer is just kind of an assortment drawer.
Junk drawer.
No, it's not junk. This is man stuff here.
Oh,
This
sorry.
isn't junk. So this is for finding top dead center with the heads are off a motor. There's some piston compression ring set for setting your pistons. There's this is pretty cool here. If you don't have this, you should have this. This is for straightening fan blades on your radiator. I mean for straightening the fins on your radiator. It's pretty cool. So you get some dings or something on your radiator, you just find the one that fits your deal, and you just rake it through it, and it straightens the fins.
Looks like yard art to me.
No, it's not yard art. Okay, and then way over here. Oh wait, we did that drawer already. These are extensions. Wobbly 3/8, or wobbly 3/8, regular 3/8, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. And then these are nut drivers, Tecton nut drivers. I like them because they're labeled on the end, and they're also labeled on the end there. So They got kind of a nice grip, and
They're manly
like 'em.
looking.
Yeah. This is kind of my, I guess, a junk drawer.
I knew you had one.
Yeah, I keep these pick tools and scrapers and feeler gauges, and
Scissors.
these are homemade spark plug starters. I just take the boots off of a wiring harness, you know, for spark plug wires. And then I can put the spark plug in and use this to thread it in. Works
Smart.
pretty good.
Scrapers, those are handy.
Scrapers, yeah, got those. This drawer, some more miscellaneous stuff. Pipe cutters. These are snap ring pliers, I think. Yeah.
Look at that. That looks familiar.
Another deal that Sally made for me. Thanks again for that.
You're welcome.
Tubing bender. What's in here? Oh, I got some strap wrenches for that. And then every once in a while, you know, like my old tractor will break down. And so I picked these guys up, and they're pretty handy. It's, you know, just an assortment of, this is 1/4 inch, and then I got 3/8. So,
Tecton.
yeah, so if I need to run out and, you know, tractor's back at the end of the property, and I can just grab one of those and head out there and not have to, you know, stuff my pockets full. And
Yeah, that's
yeah,
handy.
works good. And then here's just some gloves and some rechargeable lights. I think we did that. We did that. Okay, so over here, my pliers and cutters. And this one is slip joint pliers and needle nose.
Another one of my favorite drawers.
Yeah, and then just an assortment of adjustable wrenches. These guys are fuel line pliers, so if you have a fuel line and you want to disconnect something in between, not let the gas leak, you just put it in between and just squeeze it, and then you just pop it loose. And these work really good for that. Basically just an assortment there of vice grips. And here's an assortment of, gosh, all kinds of stuff. Spark plug boot deals, brake tool for doing the cups. This is for doing heater hoses. This is a cotter pin tool. A couple of pry bars. This is for pulling the little plastic panels on the inside of doors. Popping those little, like, Christmas tree things loose. Brake tool. This tool's for removing the knobs off of your inner doors. This is a seal puller. This little guy here you have to have if you've got a 95 Ford Bronco like I've got. This releases the fuel line so that you can take the fuel lines off the fuel tank. And this tool here, I don't remember where I found it, but it's super handy. This tool fits the little wing nut petcock on the bottom of a radiator. It fits over it, and then it's got this O-ring here. And so you just take a 3/4 inch wrench, and the O-ring keeps it from falling out, and then you can just go down and loosen that radiator petcock for draining the radiator, because they're always like super easy to turn. Not. And this tool works awesome for that. And this tool here, this is for, you know, on like front wheel drives where they have the CV joint boots, and they use those special clamps that they pinch together. Well, these are the pliers for doing that. For you put the high side in there and then you pinch it together and it pulls it tight. And I don't use these very often, but it's nice to have them. And this is my measuring tools, dividers, 3 and 4 inch calipers, straight edges, vernier calipers. And then this one, I think, yeah, it's got my some impact tools in it. And obviously my shelf up here. Keep all my fluids and stuff up above. More sheet metal. The inner fenders for project transformation. The grill and stuff. Got them up there so nothing happens to them. And let's see, this is my 12-ton press. And I use this a lot, actually. It's a pretty handy tool. Usually on these guys, they just come with a little, like, you have to stick the handle, you know, in and loosen it. And okay, guys, just get a wing nut and just weld a deal together. And that's what you need. You do it by hand. I don't know why they don't do that in the first place, but.
Who knows?
This is my sander.
You use that a lot too.
Super handy tool. I store my sheet metal, flat sheet metal there in a little rack. More metal storage there. My bandsaw, which turned out to be a super handy tool. I really enjoy it. Just some more owner's manuals down there and
Another bench you made.
another bench. The taller steel rack is there. This is my TIG welder, and I enjoy that a lot. It works great. I'm still learning all these controls. There's like this stitch control is it's got a high learning curve, and I'm working on that. It just takes a ton of practice to find the right pulse frequency and percent on and background current, and so I'm just learning that bad boy, which is fun. It's fun to learn. On that wall I got my clamps, a bench,
Another bench you made.
yeah, and then the cabinet. In this cabinet I keep all of my sanding gear and my paint guns and mostly stuff for painting, for spraying cars down. Grinder and buffer, my MIG welder, Power MIG 216, works great. This is my Packmaster Thermodynamics plasma cutter, and this works great. And
Sitting on another cart that you made.
yeah, I made that cart for it. None of these tools come with carts, so you got to make carts.
Yeah.
This is my painting cabinet. I keep the lacquer thinners and strike cans and stuff down below, and then
Wasn't this free, this cabinet?
yeah, I got it for free.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So this works great, and then I can mix the paint on here. If it spills on this stainless steel, not a big deal. It's easy to clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's most of everything on this area. Oh, and then I have another box here. This is kind of my fabrication box. So I got
Oh, where'd you get that box, honey?
I got that. You bought that for me.
Oh, did I? Wasn't that nice of me?
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was.
happy birthday, honey.
Thanks. So the top drawer are my files. It's nice having them all in one place now. This is sanding discs. This drawer is hacksaws. Back in the day, before I had all this other stuff, everything was cut by hand. These are my body and fender tools for doing, sheet metal work. Hammers. More electrical stuff. Crimpers, electrical testers, my fluke meter. And let's see what this one. This one's some more fittings, some more electrical stuff, and more electrical stuff. So this is pretty much, I can roll this cart over to, like if I'm doing some wiring on a truck or car or whatever, I can roll it over and I have all the stuff there. And if I'm doing some grinding on a fender or whatever, I have everything I need right here to work on it. And it's super handy, it rolls around, and hey, it's a US General. I tell you what, guys, this hardware fit stuff is good. It really is. It's solid. So anyway, that's, oh, you know what? I got to show you Sally's toolbox. She's got a toolbox.
Yes,
so
I do. Finally.
I'm going to take the
Ooh.
camera
Ooh, okay.
and we're going to go into the wood shop. And
Yeah.
so tell everybody about your toolbox.
Well, since you got some new ones and didn't have room for this one, I get to have this one for my painting and some of my woodworking and yard art. So there's some of
Okay.
my chalk paint brushes.
Roger that.
And
Tape.
stir
Oh,
sticks.
there's where my tape went.
What? I don't see any
I was
tape.
wondering where that
I don't
went.
see where, I don't know what you're talking about. Some yard art stuff.
That's a pretty useful drawer.
Well, it is. Look at that. Because my honey is going to teach me how to do welding this summer. Or this winter, actually,
Okay.
when there's snow.
Another
Okay.
drawer,
More yard art junk. Oh, paints.
Good utilization of space.
Thank you very much. Yes, the cabinet is wonderful. Oh, my paint cans fit in here perfectly. This is
Okay.
nice and deep. And towels and more junk. Well, I call it treasures, but anyway.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Okay.
And that's mine. So I'm very
Which
excited.
is-
Yes.
Yeah, and here's the wood shop. Workbench over there. Thickness planer in the corner. Dust collection system. My box that my transmission came in that I just can't seem to want to throw away. Table saw. And let's see what else over here. I got a 12-inch chop saw with extensions on it. Pretty long. And then what's cool about this is you can, it's got this adjustment here. And you loosen this guy. And then you can loosen that and you can, so if you wanted to make a whole bunch of things and you wanted them 14 and an 1/8, you could just set them on there and cut away. Pretty handy.
It is handy. Even I can use that.
Yeah. And then got a router table,
Which you built?
which I made.
You built.
And sometime I'll show you guys how I did that. It's pretty cool.
Spare
I
wood.
got a joiner over there. My clamp rack, because when you're making furniture and stuff, you never have enough clamps.
Mm-hmm. My projects.
And Sally's does a lot of furniture restoration, and then I get the job of fixing it, and then she gets the job of finishing it and making it look pretty, and then she sells it. So this is a new project that I'm working on. It's like a little dresser, but it's too low to the ground, so I'm gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna make a steel frame, and I'm going to combine metal and wood, and I think it's going to look really cool.
It is going to look sharp, and I probably won't be able to part with it.
Yeah, she says it a lot.
I do. I keep stuff and then I sell it after a while.
Our house is, let's see, what's the right word? It's very
Eclectic?
eclectic.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
But
it's
tastefully done.
It's a potpourri of stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And then my bandsaw for cutting wood, and
Bandsaw. Oh, and future projects which you need to be reminded of to help me with. Future lamps. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to get that in.
this is where I store my. This is the. Oh, what can I say? It's just a cart that I made for bolting my cab to it while I do body work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it multi-adjustable so it works for any cab. And but I got to store it somewhere, so I stored it. I stored it in the wood shop.
That works. There's plenty of room.
So there you have it, guys. Just a quick tour of my shop. I got my furnace in the ceiling.
Which is a lifesaver in the winter.
Yeah, and
Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to work out here at all.
yeah. If you got any questions, if there's something I missed or whatever, just drop me a comment. Let me know, and I'll get back to you. And that's all I got today, guys. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And have a great day. And I will see you next time.